on the other seat.
It's awesome. So, hey, everybody, welcome to the All Things Gratitude podcast. I'm your host, Nick Dorsey, and today is a special show for me because we have Russ Johns on, and that was the first podcast I was ever on. So he got just me going about it. So everybody, I mean, you've seen the hashtags. Kindness is cool. Smiles are free. You know, Russ, I've met in person. It's just great. So, Russ, welcome to the All Things Gratitude podcast.
Nick, it's so awesome to finally catch up with you on a podcast. And hats off to you and all the applause. A round of silent applause for Nick for starting the podcast. So thank you.
Thank you. I mean, that was, I talk about it so much, then I got a new job and then I moved down here to Arizona and then COVID hit and I just, I kept flying off excuses. I'm going to start it next week. I'm going to start it next week. And finally, our friend Ira called me out on a post. And I'm like, that's it. And I'm not going to lie. I had a couple adult beverages I was drinking that night and I just flew right in. I signed up for StreamYard and boom, threw it out. I'm like, well, can't go back now.
That's the way you got to do it, man. That's the way you got to do it. And it's interesting because we actually connected when you first moved down here and actually before COVID started. So it's, we haven't had an opportunity to reconnect again. So it's about time.
It was funny, Russ, because I'm remembering, you're absolutely correct. I think it was the second day I moved down here, we met up.
Yeah.
When my wife was still in Washington, Patrick Malone, who's down here. We met with him at a little hotel bar that's kind of outdoors down in downtown Phoenix. So that was really cool. And it's funny. I was just thinking the other day how we met. And I just remember you sent me this message on LinkedIn and before we even were connected, and it was kind of like, do you want to be on the Pirate broadcast? And I was like, who's this crazy dude sending me this message? Because it was so random. I was like, and I was on a train going to a Seattle Seahawks game. So I'm just looking at this like, okay, this is strange. What's a Pirate broadcast?
I think I saw you in a conversation with Tina Oliver.
Yeah.
And you guys were going back and forth. And I said, guy from Seattle, loves the Hawks. It has to be interesting. So it's like, okay, I'm just going to throw this out there in the universe and see what happens. So,
and it turned out great. I want to say hi to my friend Randy Cooper.
Hey, Randy, what's happening?
Yeah, Randy out of Atlanta, Georgia. So awesome. Thanks for being on, man.
Yeah.
And it turned out to be great because on top of that, besides, having a pretty good podcast, I got a lot of traction off of that. So thank you so much. But it's blossomed into a nice friendship. And that's the thing about it. It's to the point where it's gotten somewhat personal now because we have talked about each other's personal lives to each other. Yeah. We've I've asked you advice, you've given it to me, and it's been a lot of fun. You've offered a lot of advice to me, so that's what I love. That what online networking, when it goes over to the personal side and you can meet people and everything, that's what it's all about. The networking has just been awesome. So, I mean, it's been great. And like I was telling you in my so-called green room, if you're ready to come down to the house, my wife's intrigued. She wants to meet you because I always talk so highly of you and the podcast she sent to everybody in her family to watch it when I was on the pirate broadcast. So
that's awesome.
And my kids, it was like a proud moment when they watched that. It was proud for her. My parents watched it. I mean, it was just great. They watch your podcast over watching all mine now. So how about that?
You have to get back on the pirate broadcast again. And now we talk about how you evolved and started your own podcast and you're getting some of this because it's really, I think for myself anyway, I don't know how you experience this, but you have to have a lot of gratitude for everything you do, and you can give back to the world with it. It's kind of therapeutic because you can say things and kind of find your voice and just kind of develop who you are and what you're saying and what you believe in. And I think that's the thing that I've really seen you grow and excel in, is just being able to put it out there and develop, grow. So it's nice to be. So come back on the Pirate Broadcast, and we'll have a second version. And
we'll get it going. Now you say interesting people doing interesting things. I think I can give you some real interesting things now, because I mean, just my online presence with LinkedIn, podcast, new job, everything. My life has almost been a 180 compared to where it was when I was first on. So so that's really cool. Yeah, and I mean, and it's only been 7 months, but it seemed like a long 7 months. So lots going on.
A lot of changes have taken place in the last 7 months. So it's really, I mean, everything in your life is essentially evolved into a lot of different things taking place.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely, and
new job, new state, new environment, new temperature.
Yeah, new 115 degree or 110 degrees for 72 straight days. That was a boom punch in the face, but it's worth it. It's all worth it for me and my family. So it's been awesome. So I want to do a quick shout out before we jump in on you. Our friend Curtis is on. What's up, Curtis?
Curtis, what's going on?
Yeah, Curtis is great. He's a pirate. I'm a pirate. It's just awesome. So before we get more into some fun conversation, well, it is fun conversation, but just tell a little bit of people about the Pirate Broadcast, how it came about, and it's syndicated now, and how that's going, and just how everything you're doing right now. You're giving so much. You're trying to build up all these events and everything for people and for yourself and everything. Just let everybody have a little insight on what's Russ Johns up to and how it's all coming along.
Well, Nick, thank you for that. I really appreciate that. Is that I have been in technology for decades. I got into advertising, and my first adventure in advertising was 1985. And I evolved into tech and in and out and done a lot of different things. And what I really wanted to, or what I gravitated toward, I guess, was sharing what I learned, because I love learning and I love technology. So I'd learn this technology and figure out how to do things. And then I love sharing it. So it was like a perfect opportunity to give back in the Pirate Broadcast. And the other thing was that I was always curious about what people did. It's like, okay, I wouldn't know really about anything about your job, your position, and what you're doing if I didn't know you.
Mm-hmm.
And you go by these buildings, they have logos on them and everything else. You think, well, what do they do? You don't know about them until you find somebody that's doing something about it. And so kind of discovering what people are doing along the way is kind of feeding my own curiosity and giving back to the community, because you can see how people can be kind, they can be giving, they can be productive, and they can also share something about what they're doing to inspire somebody else to do something. And so I just wanted to develop this thing and prove the point and build automation into it, build systems that allow me to scale it. And then by scaling it, that's what has allowed me to start the Pirate Syndicate, where I can help other people and help build their brands and their message to be seen, be heard, and talked about. It's one of those things that I just really feel passionate about, because I was looking at my Facebook feed, and how things pop up. And I was seeing how on the Facebook feed, how I was still teaching You Are the Media, where you can pick up a phone and you can actually broadcast, and how amazing it is, and how interesting where we live right now in this time in history, and where you are the media, you can produce it, you can promote it, you can build it, you can grow it, and the limit, it's unlimited.
Agreed. And it amazes me, Russ, how there are so many professionals, so many business owners out there who don't take advantage of it. I mean, it's right there, and a lot of this is free. It's free marketing, free advertising. Maybe you hire a team member to run your social media for you to do, if you want to totally be on there a lot during the day and engage with people. But God, they're free platforms that they can get a lot out there. And you know that you've done it well. And our friend Ira is great at this. he's amazing what he has done with some other companies that he represents himself. I mean, he's got close to 200,000 followers, and he did majority of them like within a year. Yeah. And that's personal branding, and that's just amazing. And he's using it to the full extent of what it's there for.
Yeah.
So it's just amazing when some people are like, oh, it's not worth it. Social media, this, that. Well, if you use it correctly, you can make a lot of money off of it, for your company. It's just people don't realize. So
think of any organization that if they had access to 200,000 people, what that would do for their business.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a numbers game at some point in time is how some people would argue it. And you go back and you say, well, if you had access to 10,000 people, 1,000 people, if you could use 10 new clients right now today, what would that do for your business?
Absolutely.
And it's just a conversation away. And people need to learn how to engage and actually give value to the marketplace. And it's really more about what I can deliver rather than what I can receive.
Absolutely. I want to say hi to our friend Paula, fellow pirate.
Paula.
Yes.
Paula and I were in Ira's room earlier tonight. So it's like following around each other, following each other around. So.
She says she put here so much talent here. Well, she adds to it. She's very talented.
She's very amazing
and just so compassionate and so awesome. That's another one of those people. She is somebody I'd love to meet in person. That is something I would love to be able to probably go up to Canada because, see some scenery up there, and just enjoy it. So thank you, Paula, for being here. She's always been a big supporter of mine, and I just absolutely love it. So I just really appreciate her. So oh yeah, that was nice. She got me.
Fantastic. Oh, thank you.
Yeah. We had a thing when I worked in the casino, and social media can work this way too, is, it's like when everybody clicks or somebody likes your page, it opens it up potentially to everybody that they're connected to because it will show it on some feeds, so it could be all those other people. And like in the casino, we always said, if one person comes in, they're going to tell 10 people about it. Okay, doesn't mean all 10 people are coming in, but if one person comes off that, they're going to tell 10 more, and one person comes in, 10 more. Before you know it, within a week, it's put out to like 10 or 15,000 people, and we might only have 10 or 11 people come in, but if each one drops $100 here, somebody drops $1,000 here, somebody drops that, we're making our money, and that's where our money is. So you always want to put out the positive. You always want to throw out to where people are like, engaging is good too. Yes, it is. But those clicks on the likes do help out too, because it does get you put out there a little bit. So, so absolutely people need to take advantage of this, business owners and everything. It just baffles me when people argue about it. And so I'm just like, it's all right. Stay closed-minded. Somebody else will take your money from you and call it good.
How many times have you heard a business say, my clients are not on social media?
Everybody in the world, 90% of the people in the world are on social media, maybe 95. So I don't want to hear that. That's just.
Hey, it's my mom's birthday on the 1st of October. Love you, Mom. Wish you happy birthday.
Yeah. Happy birthday, Mom.
She's on Facebook, and she's purchased from her phone. So if my mother, who's 84, will be 84.
Yeah.
Pushing it forward, Mom, is 84 and could purchase products and services on her phone, you could do it too. Your clients can do it. Your business can do it.
Yeah, and majority of those people's clients are in their 20s and 30s and 40s who absolutely know how to do all this. So it's an old school mentality. It really is, and there's still a lot of people stuck in that. I had an old boss that told me, I don't care what all the technology and everything is now, it's going to go back to the old way. I go, no, it's not. The world never goes backwards. It goes forward.
Yeah.
Especially with technology. It just goes forward. So I'm just like, get out of that mindset because it's never going to be that way. He'd rather have it be pencil and paper and write everything out. Or I love this mentality. He wants everything to be a handshake, which I agree with. I'm still into that, but it's the reality of the world. It's not that way anymore. So you just have to get your mind past that. So, I mean,
Nick, I have to tell you a story
mm-hmm.
just to illustrate this point.
Mm-hmm.
I had a client who DM'd me over Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
We did the entire business transaction. I built his website. I created his website. I created his content, his branding, everything over Instagram DM.
Yeah. Yeah.
never had a conversation.
Yeah.
Everything was over DM.
Mm-hmm. I work for a tech company. It's considered a tech company. And, I deal with properties all over the nation. And I'm not going to lie, a lot of my conversations are on a Slack channel or on a text message, or it's through an email. I mean, majority of the people there, I talk to a lot of people on the phone, but majority of the people I deal with, I've never met in person, never talked on the phone. It's all email or Slack or text. It's just crazy, but that's how the world is. The world's so fast now.
Yeah.
I can be in a meeting that I have nothing going on. I know my bosses probably don't want to hear this, but I could send out a couple texts really quick to people, and get an answer really quick.
Yeah.
And instead of waiting for that free time, if they're stuck in meetings most of the day, I won't get it, but they'll probably respond to a text really quick back to me with a yes or no, So
Slack is great for that. It's like, okay, well, and there's 10,000, there's lots of different technologies and team apps, and we could nerd out all afternoon. However, the point we're making is that things are changing. Things have changed, and they will continue to change. Move over, dinosaurs. DM me in my cave. Well, we love Paula's words. Her words are elegant, they're beautiful, and they're so inspiring. So
yes, they are.
And we need Paula around.
Yes. Well, we need to get her to Arizona, because once everything's cool, we have to do a LinkedIn local. And Arizona has a big group of people for LinkedIn local down here, and people are participate. There's a lot of them here, and it'd be fun to have some people come from around. Like Iris, 5 hours away. That's a quick drive for them. We can get them in here, and some of that could be a lot of fun. So,
we did a LinkedIn local pop-up.
I saw that
the day. Yeah.
How did that go?
In Art Jones out of Tempe. So,
how did you feel that went? I mean, obviously it's the first one. So,
well, we had over 40 people in the room, and almost, the percentage of people that signed up and RSVP'd and showed up was incredibly high.
Good.
So I felt really good about it. Obviously, a Zoom session is a Zoom session is a Zoom session. So it's like not the same as getting together and meeting face to face and
absolutely,
chatting and seeing each other. However, it's what we have right now where we are.
Yep.
That's kind of the way I feel about it today. And so, it's like, let's make the best of what we have.
Yeah, I agree. And you know what? I'm probably on 30 or 40 Zoom calls a week with work. And there is a thing called Zoom fatigue, and it is there. And it is crazy. But like you said, you have to do what you got to do right now. And, but man, sometimes it's very difficult. It really is. And I hope to God this is not the new norm, because I'm such a people person. I need to be around people. So sometimes I'm like, it just drives me crazy.
Yeah.
But at the moment, it is what it is, and we got to do.
I think it's going to evolve. It's going to evolve. And we don't know what it's going to look like. However, I do know that by using technology and more people getting involved in technology, it's going to accelerate the tech curve in our social fabric. And, by utilizing this, a lot of businesses are going to think, well, we used to have this management oversight that was necessary to move the business forward. There's a lot of businesses that are doing quite well by having remote workforces that are not necessarily going to move back to got to show up at the office by 9 kind of mentality, just as a part of the experience of not having to do that. And so the big interesting thing for me is what's it gonna look like after we evolve out of the COVID situation.
What I'm interested in seeing is companies like Google and Microsoft who brand their company off employee experiences, where they have ping pong tables, they have basketball courts, they got all that stuff. They spent multi-millions on their corporate offices. Are they going to tell their people, okay, you can remote from home, it works? Or it's like, or are they going to be like, you need to come in because we need to pay for this building.
Yeah.
We got to make sure this building's paid off. I mean, those are some
justify it.
Yeah, absolutely. And what happens for the people who hired on right before COVID, let's say, who hired on because of that cultural experience, and now they don't get to experience.
Yeah.
How is that working with them? So there's so many different mindsets and so many different angles to look at this, that we talked with my team. We're talking about possibly, we already did one remote day before. We're talking about doing possibly 2 to 3 a week, but like make a day like Wednesday or something is mandatory in the office, where the team gets together, where we're all there together and we have our team meetings in person and everything, just to keep that bond going and everything. So, but nothing's going to happen to the first of the year. So, I mean, we've already made that decision at work, but if people want to go back, that they can get permission from their manager and slowly go back. But it's kind of an option stage right now, which is nice. Let people be at their comfort stage. Let people, see how they feel. So my company's been awesome through this whole thing. So I've been very blessed with how, they are really doing, our safety first.
That's
so
awesome.
Yeah, so it's been pretty cool. So Paula's just going at it today. I mean, she's got Zoom Pong.
Zoom Pong.
Then then Curtis comes in.
Those were huge
interesting points here. Yeah, I mean, they are huge investments, Curtis. And it is an interesting thing. I mean, it's just, and here comes another aspect of it. All these companies for years saying remote work won't work, remote work won't work. Guess what? It's working. So now they have to go back on a lot of what they said and realize it. But then if you do it correctly, companies are going to save a lot of money. They're going to save a lot of money from having the huge corporate offices, all the overhead involved with them. Maybe you have to give your employees a stipend for working out of office at home, but that's going to be pennies to the dollar compared to what they spend for these huge buildings, so.
Well, and there again, I've been a remote worker for over 10 years. And the one thing that I noticed is there are times where, I go to clients' offices and I go to locations to work, and it's not as if I have to, be isolated like right now. Because like right now, it feels like, okay, I can't go to a Starbucks right now and work, or a restaurant and hang out. And, it's not, I can, and I have at different times, been out. However, it's not as accessible as it once was. So that's what I'm looking forward to having back, is the opportunity to make a choice.
Yeah.
And that's really what it's about. So,
the funny thing is when Arizona first reopened all the restaurants and everything, my wife and I went out one night. One of the first nights they opened up, we ate, we left, and I said, okay, I'm good now. And she's kind of like, what are you talking about? I'm like, I just hated the fact that somebody told me I couldn't do something. Yeah. Now it's like, we can eat at home all we want now. It's not but it was just a mental mindset, and it was like, okay, now we can change. I can go do stuff now. So it was really interesting. So I have a friend on here, Dr. Ken Richmond. He'd be a good one to have on your show, Russ. Yeah.
I've seen him in the feed. Yeah.
He'd be a very good one to have on. He has a podcast. He talks about gratitude. He talks about just being grateful and everything. I was on his first live show he did, so that I was an honor to be that, and just a great person. So somebody to keep in mind there, Russ. I recommend that one. Yeah. So
love to have you on. Love to have
that interesting people doing interesting things. He would fit that great. I mean, it's great what he's doing.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
Yeah. So Russ, go ahead.
No, I love meeting new people and making connections like that. Thanks for the introduction. So
I think that's what's been great about this. I've had people reach out to me, what will it take to get on your podcast and everything? Like, whoa, I was like, it's cool because it's meeting new people I don't know. And
yeah.
At first I thought this is weird. People is asking me to be on, but I'm like, at the same time, that's how I meet people. And at the same time, that's showing it's reaching out to people I didn't even know who they were. So it's taken in a different direction. And if I have them on, I look at it like now I'm going to be exposed to their whole network. Who knows how many followers I can pick up from that?
Right.
And maybe in that following is the one person I meet that might change my life forever. Who knows?
One conversation away.
Yeah, absolutely. So I want to talk about you have two of the coolest hashtags ever. I have them scrolling across the bottom of the screen there. Kindness is cool and smiles are free.
Yeah.
Hashtags sometimes are actually hard to come up with because you want some of them just to separate from other people or just separate from, just what other people are thinking or everything.
Yeah.
You want it to be for yourself. So were you just laying in bed one night or just sitting there and bam, it pops into your head? Or how did these come along?
Oh, I've used smiles are free for years. Not necessarily as a hashtag.
Yeah.
However, the theme has always been there. And it's, you kind of go through life and you don't get to be my vintage unless you've had a few bumps along the way.
Mm-hmm.
And the way I handle it, grief, sorrow, depression, anxiety, things like that, there's you have to have a sense about what is good in the world and what is going to allow you to imagine a better tomorrow, and gratitude helps me along that way. And there's a psychology about smiling, and having a positive attitude as a result of that, because worry doesn't change the way you feel. It's not going to change what's taking place in the now, right now. Erica, love
yes.
her.
Yeah, she's great.
And so it's smiles are free. If you share one and you duplicate it, you're not out anything.
Yeah.
Abundance, and it's just like share it, smile at somebody and let them know that everything's going to be okay. Because eventually everything does eventually work out to be okay, even though it's not maybe the journey you anticipated or selected initially. But and then kindness is cool. It's just I think it's really important for people to understand that it costs nothing to be kind. And
Absolutely.
I think it needs to be cooler. I think right now, more and more, and that I've used that for a while now. And I just think it's cool to be kind, open doors, return shopping carts, pick up trash, help somebody out.
You hit it right there. The shopping cart thing just drives me nuts. It's such a pet peeve. I'm in a parking lot, like, you're 4 stalls away. Just go put it in the thing, or just like, ah. I mean, sometimes I'm not lying, Russ, but it's 115 here and you're out on the pavement. I'm like, I kind of get it, but still put it away.
Yeah.
So,
here's the thing. Here's the trick, though, Nick. If you grab one in the parking lot and you take it back with you,
absolutely,
it's a simple task.
Yeah,
you need one when you go inside. Why don't you just take it out of the parking lot and go take it back?
I agree with you, and we've done that multiple times. It's just one of those things. You go to park in a parking spot, and there's multiple parking spots that are empty, but there's a cart in the middle of it. It's like, come on, people, just That's those hashtags are great, and I've always loved them. And it's just, but you're absolutely correct. Kindness is cool. You're absolutely correct. Having gratitude, being kind, it's not that hard to do, but for some people, they struggle with it. But I've learned coming down here too, Russ, this is amazing. I'm smiling so much more living in Arizona. I don't know if it's because it's new and a change of scenery, but
I think
having more sun, because you've been in the Pacific Northwest.
Oh yeah.
Having more sun is absolutely amazing because it could be 115 out. I'm sitting in my house with air conditioning, but if I look outside and see blue skies, it
Blue
just makes
sky.
the mood so much better. It's
Yeah.
just unbelievable. So
Yeah.
this has been great.
It's
So
crazy. It's crazy when you think about it. So, and the reality is that I mean, I love the Northwest. I love the green. I love the water. I love a lot of things about it. And you know, I raised my kids there, and I have a lot of love for it. And I loved Houston for a different reason. I love Arizona for a different reason. I've loved everywhere. I've appreciated something about everywhere I live.
mhm.
And I just think it's really nice to look out the window and just see blue skies every day.
You were in the Seattle, was it Redmond area or just the Seattle area?
Well, I
Across
lived
from
in Bellevue. I lived in Burien. I lived in uh, downtown Seattle. I was right at Harbor Steps, right across from the Seattle Art Institute.
I
So,
remember that. So Burien, I mean, at some point in our lives, it's funny how everything comes out, but we were really close to each other at one
yeah.
point. So,
I
you
lived
know,
in Linwood for a while. So, up
as
north.
the locals call it, Lynn Hood. So,
Yeah, I wasn't
so
going to say that.
oh no, awesome. I was more down towards Tacoma area, Bonnie Lake, Auburn area. So,
Yeah.
yeah. So, no, good stuff. So, I mean, Russ, things have just been great. I mean, you're such an inspiration to a lot of people, and I know your podcast, you do it daily, and I'm just like in awe because 2 days a week is kind of a struggle for me to get going on stuff, but every day, and it's just finding the people. I mean, I know you're not 100% booked because every once in a while it'll just be you on there, but still
Yeah.
finding as many people as you do to come on, it's insane and it's awesome. And
Yeah.
I always talk to people. I'm proud to have been on your show. I'm proud to be, as we call, a pirate. And it's
Yeah.
just been it opened up me a lot. It was I had just under, I think, 5,000 followers when I was on your show back in December.
Uh-huh.
And I'm close to 15,000 now. And
Wow.
I took about 3 months off because when I moved in COVID, I didn't go on LinkedIn a lot because new job,
Right.
moving, my family was still in Washington. So I was worried about them because I left Washington, which was the hot zone at that point. I come down to Arizona, everything's open, everything's going good. Then 2 weeks later, it was the hot zone.
Yeah.
Worrying about my wife getting the house sold. Then she started kind of packing. Then I came down there. We packed everything up. Just worrying about. And we drove back and we didn't stay in a hotel. We slept in the car and everything because it was just nobody knew what was going on. It was just so crazy at that time. That was the middle of April. And, it was just an insane time to move. But we were fortunate. We sold our house there right before, I think it was a day or two before Washington banned realtors from showing houses. So we got very lucky on that. We
So
came
you
down.
could say it was just in the nick of time.
There you go. And then I was down here and I actually put the offer on the house before my wife was down here. And this was the second time I bought a house before she saw it. So, I mean, we did FaceTime and talk about it, but,
Yeah.
then she came down here and obviously right move, but our houses closed within 7 days of each other, and it was just the timing was perfect, but very stressful
Yeah.
because you're moving 1,500 miles,
A
and
move is difficult. It's
oh,
challenging. Yeah.
and then we get into our house, and the moving company said, "Oh, just call us. You'll have your stuff within a couple days." Cool. Oh, you're 3 weeks behind now, and they cited everything COVID. So I'm like, so we had nothing for like 3 weeks. We're living in my parents' house with just a couple bins of clothes and the dog, So it was, but every step of the way, Russ,
Yeah.
we are thankful for every step of what happened because we always talk about if it's meant to be, it's meant to be, and things happen for a reason.
Yeah.
And you understand those things, and down the road at some point. And we are just grateful for every step. We're very humble. We don't take anything for granted because we can lose everything tomorrow.
Yeah.
So it's just enjoy what we have in the moment. you know,
Tomorrow's
and that's
not guaranteed, right?
absolutely. And, you know, we got some stuff going on over here in the side chat. So, Ken said, thank you for the intro. So, uh-oh. It looks like Erica's leaving us. Erica, just because it's 7:30 at night in Dallas, Fort Worth area, it's still kind of early. But Erica, I don't know if I think you've noticed off my feed and everything. Erica and Peter and I have met multiple times now.
Yeah.
Met up for dinners and everything. So that's been great. So I mean, it's, you know, I'm just
people. I love them.
It's just people I've come across. Joe Stepke, met him, you know, I've met Ira in person. Obviously, we've talked about that. Jordan Mendoza, I think he's been a pirate. Has he been a pirate yet? Or
no, Jordan hasn't been on yet.
Okay.
So got to get him on.
Yeah. I met him a couple times. You know, I've been so fortunate to meet. I met you, obviously, you know, and I always joke about it's funny because Tina lives 15 minutes from me and I've never met her in person, you know, but I met all these people in Indiana and Texas and Atlanta. So, but I just talked to Tina a couple days ago, you know, just doing a check-in because it's been a little quiet. Okay. Yeah, she's doing fine, you know, just a lot of stuff going on, you know, her kids starting college and everything.
Yeah.
So big transition for that. So, so it's been nice to know everything's good there. So we'll meet up for a coffee here soon. So that'll be really nice. So
yeah,
but yeah,
so to get back.
So you got any other big news going on with all your ventures going on, or it's just Russ Johns is normal?
I will have I use Dub as one of my tools to book the pirate broadcast, and I'm going to be on with Darius, one of the co-founders, on the 30th. I'll have a webinar on the 30th, I believe at 11 o'clock Pacific time, 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock.
Cool.
It's on the LinkedIn feed, so that'll be a lot of fun. I'm doing a 5-day oil and gas broadcast I'm hosting, helping out SparkCon and SparkCon 2020. It's an event that's coming up, and doing that. And I'll be on Ira's Friday follow-up program this Friday. So I'll get to hang out with Ira again, do that. So yeah, I mean, just staying busy, staying active, and staying in touch.
Awesome.
It's one of the things that keeps me up every day and gets me up moving every day in the morning. So
I want to throw a hi to Professor Pete.
Yeah, hey, Professor Pete, love you, man.
Yeah, Pete's great. I don't know if you caught it
the other day. So
I don't know if you caught it, but we had a Saturday edition of the podcast, and he was on it, and just great conversations with all the stress stuff that he does, the stress relief stuff he does, and everything. Just Pete's a busy guy too. You don't realize it till you talk to him how much he's really doing, and it's fantastic, and just great personality, just great person in general. I mean, it's just outstanding. So, so I got a question for you. I remember when we first did the Pirate Podcast, I was talking to you. I was kind of asking you before, hey, when you do these podcasts, how do you set this up? At the time, all your cameras were iPhones. Are you still doing it that way, or have you?
No, I now have a regular camera, a Sony camera with a nice lens on it now, so it's a little sharper. So
yeah.
But my son actually came out to visit from Houston, and he shamed me into buying an upgraded camera. He goes, if you're going to be doing this, you need to upgrade your camera so you look like a professional. He goes, come on, Dad.
Those iPhones were working awesome. I mean,
well, I was actually experimenting a lot because, another person, Gabriel, actually, we were going back and forth, and I was testing a couple of different iPhone solutions, and I've done the regular webcams and things like that. And it's like, you got all kinds of options nowadays. There's no reason why you can't create and broadcast with whatever you happen to have in your hand. So it's amazing. It's amazing.
I think I'm going to spend a little money and do that now. Because I really want to see how this. I didn't want to drop a bunch of money into it, and it didn't work. But I've been getting a lot of positive feedback. We get a ton of views and a lot of comments rolling. So it's okay. I think to the point to where we're gaining some traction. I put a little money into it now, not a lot, and as we hit each milestone, we'll see where we're sitting. And, but for me, Russ, the big part of this is just talking with cool people and just enjoying myself. It's just a conversation.
Yeah.
And
that's exactly what it is.
Mm-hmm.
And it's an outreach program that you can build a network and you can build, some inspiration around it and promote, the idea that kindness is cool, smiles are free.
Absolutely. So, I mean, it is, and I think a lot of our things, we have a lot of similarities when it comes to gratitude and how we want to deal with people and how we want to treat people. So I think just naturally it just works for both of us because you just come off just, how would I say, and people just gravitate towards you. And I've been told that about me, and it's nice, because I don't know too many enemies I have on a personal level. Now, people may want my position at work and this and that. That's always going to happen. You can't control that. But just on a personal level, it's just, I'm sure you're the same way. I mean, it's nice when people just get along with you and they just enjoy what you bring to the table. And I'm very blessed to have that trait. And, and this is another thing I do not take for granted because if I start acting cocky or doing that, bam.
So my question to you would be, what do you think created that element in you that allows you to be easy to be around, easy to have a conversation with, approachable, that personality that just allows it a conversation to take place? I mean, what is it?
My dad.
Is it growing up? Is it?
It's growing up. It was my father. I mean, like my mom's joke is when my dad goes and gets the mail, he's gone for an hour and a half because he's talking to everybody on the block. And my wife used to tell me, you walk into a room, even though you're not trying to be the center of attention, you end up being the center of attention because everybody's around you, everybody's laughing because I'll do corny little stupid things, but I'm having fun and the people around me are having fun. My older brother, Kevin, that dude he is the party every time you go around, and he is so funny. He has a photographic memory, so he remembers everybody's names, where they're from, and everything. It's just insane. But so he's older than me, so I probably get from him and my father. That's kind of how they are. I come from an Italian family, so it's just like people aren't scared to talk. So there's no issue there. So but like I said, but still, you have to be blessed in a certain way. Just because you talk a lot doesn't mean people like you. So you still have to come across, in a caring, giving, compassionate way, for people to really gravitate towards you. So I'm just blessed to have that trait, I mean, but I think it comes from my father. I really do.
Well, I appreciate it. So,
yeah. So how does it feel? Because it's not too often we see you, because we see you on the Pirate broadcast every day. How does it feel to be on the other side of the podcast?
It seems strange. It's not uncomfortable. However, it does feel strange when I'm looking up at the interface here and I'm going, where's all my stuff? It's like, okay, yes, it's nice. It's refreshing because I don't have to, I didn't have to do anything except show up.
Yeah. And that doesn't make it nice. I'm not into the full production like you are, but the day of, I still put out, a post going who's coming on the show. I still do one the next day, to, share the post or share the live feed. I do, I do a little prep. I got it down to like 10 minutes now before the show. So it's pretty quick, but I could do a lot more. But I look at it like, we have the wheel. I'm not going to reinvent the wheel.
Yeah.
But what I have working for me right now is working. Am I going to do a little improvements? Yes, I will when the time is right. But since I'm so new and so into this and it's working well, I don't want to change a lot now because people are enjoying the content, the guests, and what is being put out. So I mean, it's almost like why try to change it with when something's working, you know? So, but I want to add music. I want to do all kinds of little stuff like that. So I'll start working on kind of like intro, outro, you know, just have a little bit fun with it. I mean, and I want to start doing some shows to where it's like I'll have multiple people on and it's like we're talking about our favorite bands or you know we're talking about our favorite shows, you know, take it kind of that because that's just who I am, you know. So I don't want to be fake on this. I want to be who I am. So that's the biggest thing. So
I look at what Gabriel has done with his show and Made from Scratch podcast, and he's evolved. He's always experimenting. We'll jump on a call or something. He'll go live and we'll do experiments. And I was showing him how to restream from a phone, and he'll show me how to do something else, or rebroadcast or restream or something like that. In fact, Randall Constant, he does the Food Network on LinkedIn. He has everything from every 50 states, food wise, and he increased his connections, his follower count 9,000 in the last month.
Holy cow!
Yeah,
that's crazy.
That's insane. And so all of these individuals that I've just hung out with for the last several years, it's just amazing to watch everybody grow and continue to grow. The ones that have continued to pursue progress, every single day, just a little bit progress. It doesn't have to be a lot. You don't have to impress everybody. You don't have to reach everybody. You don't have to respond to everybody. And you're just always going to be present. You're always going to be accountable, and you're always going to be in the groove, doing your work, doing your thing. So
that's crazy that person has grown 9,000 in close to a month, because I think LinkedIn is messing around with a lot of people's algorithms. Because I look at this, I'm not going to lie, Russ, I'll have like 1,000 comments, or sorry, we'll have like, let's say 80 likes, and we'll have 150, 200 comments, but only 800 views. I'm like, it's just impossible to only have 800 views with that much engagement going on, because naturally it goes through people's feeds. So I'm like, what are you doing? Are you guys screwing with us? And some days I'll have a ton of followers. Like back in the day when I was growing really fast, I mean, I was getting 50, 60, 75 followers a day. And it was mainly overnight when I was sleeping, because it was people from other countries. Yeah. And now it's like flipped. It's like I'm getting a couple at night and I'm getting 30 or 40 during the day. It's like, what is going on here? This is complete opposite of what I experienced for 6 months.
I learned to let it go a while ago. It's just like, let it go. And in reality, I was on last night because I was I wanted to create a live stream event, and I made the mistake of scheduling it for my business page, which I don't have LinkedIn Live for my business page. However, I thought there was a way that you could do it with StreamYard, and you can. However, it's an event that you have to use your personal profile if that's where your LinkedIn Live is. And I've been applying for LinkedIn Live for my business page for a long time, 10 months.
And you do something live every day. So
I do something live every day. It's like, hello, McFly. Yeah. It's like, do you create content? Yeah, look at my feed. It's like I just want to. And people say all the time, like if they're in Australia, they it's the middle of the night, so I can't necessarily have them on the show. And I'd like to do another show where I could actually talk about different things without diluting the pirate broadcast. So it's like, okay, if you don't want to do that, do I need to go to another platform and go elsewhere? Or, and it's like, okay, I'm doing this for me. I'm doing it for the community. I'm doing it for the goodness of, sharing a little bit of gratitude and, positive attitude and things like that. And it's like that, I think you would want to support that. I don't know. I'm confused, but.
I just know. This is Paula with her awesome words again. So
summer hot. Just run away from the algorithm. like Warden Nick. You're Warden. You're the Warden, Nick.
The thing with Paula is one of the things is I made a hashtag for her that said Paula's going to tag jail. And it seemed like Follow Me Friday or Tina's Friday Night Lights, she was always in tag jail, Paula. So I found this little LinkedIn thing with the little LinkedIn guys like in jail, and I always post that to her. And so now I'm the warden. She always tells me I have to bail her out and everything. So kind of inside joke we have, but it's a lot of fun. So I made a hashtag, and it's got like 15 or 20 people following it. So like right on.
Yeah.
Lot of good times. So
well, this has been fantastic, Nick, and I really enjoy catching up with you. It's been a while, and I know that, like I said, I'll come back on the Pirate Broadcast. I'd love to share your story with the community as well as everything you got going on and what you're doing now, and
absolutely
how it's working out for you.
I'd be honored to be back on. It'd just be awesome. So as we're wrapping up here, Russ, like I always say, I try to keep them to a half hour, but when you have friends on, it just goes longer. It's just a conversation.
It's definitely a nice break. I appreciate it.
Yeah. Oh, you're welcome, and thank you for being on. It's been great. Really quick, let people know where they can find you, Russ, all your different places.
Yeah. Love it if you just head over to russjohns.com and, sign up to get notified when a new episode comes out. And also, there's a podcast link there that you can actually follow the podcast and make comments or, review it, give it 5 stars if you're feeling up to it. And then I'm always available on LinkedIn. Just track me down, Russ Johns on LinkedIn. And you can always follow the hashtag Pirate Broadcast. And that'll always track me down as well. So
yeah, this one right there. Yes. Yeah. Awesome, man. So I always tell everybody I have an All Things Gratitude podcast page. You can come find me on LinkedIn there. You can find me on my little up there in the corner. You can find me on my cool little Bowman digital media GIF right there. So come find me on there. And like my friend Erica would say, come smash the bell on YouTube and subscribe to the page. We're starting to build a lot of content and videos there. So everyone, thank you for the support as always. I appreciate everybody who jumps on live and does comments and everything. It means the world to me. I appreciate every one of you. Russ, I appreciate you coming on. I know you have a busy schedule. You have a lot going on. So thank you so much. I'm honored to be connected with you. And the greatest thing is we both agree to this. I'm honored to call you a friend. And
absolutely, 100%.
It's been great. And I can't wait. We're going to get a hold of each other. I'm going to have you come down and have dinner at the house. So, I mean, we're there. So, everyone, thank you tonight for tuning in. Thursday, same time, 5 p.m. Pacific. I'll have my buddy Troy Holt on. He helps businesses. Yeah, he helps businesses retain clients and everything through, just relationship building and everything. So Troy's a great guy out of Florida. So please tune in for that. Yeah. And, guys, go find Russ Johns. You never know. You might become a pirate one day. So, all right, everybody, have a great night. Thanks for tuning in. We'll talk to you later.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.